Did someone let you in already? Who? Was it Captain?
Was one of the lieutenants.
Okay.
Hey, Lloyd.
How are you, sir?
How's it going, man?
Morning. I was doing a couple shots of some of
Yeah,
these
yeah, that's fine.
markers here that
That's
would
fine.
be good to add in there.
Yeah, we got a few more coming. Where the hell? First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here this morning, all the prospective outlets. I want to thank Sheriff Ed Gonzalez's office for teaming up with Precinct 4 again this year. They've never let us down. I want to thank the men and women of our office for out there. We've been out there 10 days already working the initiative and for the job that they do. This is phase 2 of our holiday patrol initiative. Phase 2 is basically where we go out and target impaired drivers, whether they be drunk or on drugs, and other vehicle-related crimes such as street racers and things of that nature. I mentioned earlier that the initiative started 10 days ago. We quietly did that. We did not let the media outlets know about that for a reason. Because through historical data, we know that the heavy drinkers and the they're more prevalent toward this time, toward the end of the year. So we're hoping that the outlets will be able to get the word out. One, that we're out there, law enforcement's ready to arrest if we have to. Would rather not, but hopefully we can get the message out to not drink and drive on our streets in Harris County. I can tell you that just last week we had 2 of our brothers from the Houston Police Department that was involved in a wreck with a suspected drunk driver where their lives were almost snuffed out while they're doing their jobs. So the men and women of law enforcement have a very dangerous job just out there doing their jobs. In the last 10 days, we made 37 arrests. We put on our board here 8 of the worst of those 37. These are folks that ran from us. They crashed their vehicles out trying to flee. I think we ended up having to get one of them out of a car with one of our canines. But the sheriff's deputies and constables made these arrests without incident. These folks are either in jail or out on bond. You know, drunk driving, folks, is 100% preventable. And it's something that we don't need in Harris County. It's becoming more and more prevalent, it seems. I don't know if it's because of the media it's getting, but we have, as a law enforcement agency and agencies, have got to team up and continue doing what we do and fighting the good fight against drunk driving. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Takita with Ed Gonzalez's office.
Thank you, Constable. Good morning. I'm Edison Tokika, and on behalf of Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez and the entire Harris County Sheriff's Office, we'd like to thank you also for being here this morning and enabling us to get the message out to the public this morning. I'd also like to thank Constable Mark Herman and the entire Precinct 4 Constable's Office for their leadership and for their strong commitment and partnership with us, the Harris County Sheriff's Office. You know, we work hard every day to make sure that our communities are safe, to make sure that every neighborhood is the kind of neighborhood that's safe enough for you to raise your families in. And that includes the roadways. We need to make sure that those roadways are safe for you to travel every day. Driving under the influence of alcohol is a serious problem. It affects many lives and many families in a very negative way every day. The problems and issues related to drinking and driving is at our forefront of our concern, as it should be. Drinking and driving is one of the most dangerous situations you can place yourself in, your passengers, and the innocent bystanders that are on the roadway. Every single injury, as the constable said, is preventable. Every injury and death at the hands of a intoxicated driver is preventable. And with the message that we want you to know today is that when you make that decision, that conscious decision to get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle when you've been drinking, is going to cost somebody's life. And it's always an innocent life. So we're going to remain aggressive in our efforts to keep impaired drivers off of our roadway. So the message this morning that we want to let the public know is it's very clear, and it's a simple message, and that's if you drink and drive and get behind the wheel of a vehicle on the roadways of Harris County, our commitment to you is that we will arrest you for DWI. Thank you.
All righty, very, very well, Chief. Any questions that y'all may have for the chief and I?
Lately, it seems law enforcement has been cracking down on servers of alcohol and holding them responsible for over-serving. How does that aspect of enforcement fit into your plan?
It fits in very well, actually. We have got a team of individuals that on a case-by-case basis, we will be looking at when we arrest drunk drivers. We're going to be trying to find out where they came from, what bar, and we'll be collaborating and working our investigation through our district attorney's office to file charges if we're able to.
You gave some tips here. Can you go over some of those?
You want-
I'm sorry, tips on?
Yeah, in case people, find themselves in a spot where they're.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, just, I mean, we put them on the release. I mean, designated driver. I mentioned earlier, it's 100% preventable. I mean, this is a choice. Main thing is just don't drink and drive. I mean, get you a driver, get you an Uber. If you have a friend that's fixing to get in a vehicle and they've had too much to drink, don't let them. Take their keys. Hide the keys. I mean, there are things, common sense things we can do to keep it from happening, and we're just as much responsible as the other, just as the bars are.
The 37 arrests in 10 days, do you know how that compares at all to previous years? Is that a high number?
It is I don't know that it's a high number. Last year, I think together we ended up arresting over 100 suspected DWIs, so I would say it's maybe down this year. Which is good, because I think that the messages that first of all, the police presence, folks see the police out and they tell their kids don't drink and drive, and through our outlets, y'all put the word out that we're out. It helps a lot. We had a deal that we worked just last week on street racing in a certain area, and when the racers supposedly got out there, they saw a massive police presence out there working traffic enforcement and doing things. There was no racing done. DWIs are the same way. And trust me, I mean, these guys that are out working the DWI initiatives, they know where to go and where to look for drunk drivers. And so I would say that this year it's probably down a little bit, but I know that I haven't got the numbers for the last 2 nights. We're probably in the 40s now, because the numbers I gave you was from 2 days ago. So, but I do look from today through the weekend, through the New Year's Eve, I look at maybe doubling that. So, and if we can, great, and if we don't, that's even better.
You said that drunk driving and driving under the influence increases towards the end of the year. Are there any other crimes that increase? I got a couple of releases about robberies and things of that sort. Do those increase as well?
Absolutely. Just like you and I get up and go to work every day, these guys get up and go to work as well, and that's robbing folks and robbing commercial businesses. So absolutely, there's a spike as well around this time of the year.
We talked to the DA's office earlier this week, and they were talking about how they were particularly concerned with this New Year's Eve because it's basically like a 5-day weekend starting today, and then you have Saturday and Sunday, and it's not ending until Tuesday. Do you think that does that concern you guys? Do you think you could see more intoxicated drivers on the road just because of how long of a time period they have?
Yeah. Just real quickly, through historical data, okay, which we've done a crime analysis from the last 2 years, we know it picks up. The sheriff and I have collaborated. We have planned this initiative throughout the new year, and I won't tell you what day it's going to stop on, because I just don't give out numbers or when or where, because I don't want the criminals to know. But we are projecting a heavy arrest presence, if you will, for DWIs. We have the manpower in place. There are going to be dozens and dozens and dozens of sheriff's deputies and constable deputies on the street, and their only job is going out and looking for impaired drivers. That's it. They're not going to be running calls. We got other people going to be doing that. So I'm telling you, in North Harris County, and I know the sheriff's working initiatives in other parts of the counties with other agencies, but in North Harris County, if you choose to drink and drive, there's a very high probability you're going to jail.
If someone in the public sees a suspected drunk driver while they're on the streets, what would be the procedure for them to do?
Well, the first thing they need to do is of course, call the Harris County Sheriff's Office or Precinct 4, whatever jurisdiction they're in, to make sure that they get them off the roadway, which can save a life. In addition to us doing this initiative, we also have identified the main corridors, or deadliest corridors within unincorporated Harris County. And we've also got units that are going to be at those locations, and we prefer not to disclose that at this time. But we believe that identifying those roadways, and with this initiative, it's going to be punctuated to the point that we are going to save lives.
Should the public, if they see someone, follow them to help you locate them?
If they can follow them at a safe distance and basically stay on the line either with the 911 operator or the appropriate police agency, yes, absolutely. We want you to report it. You know, the see something, say something deal. It's a common sense approach. We need other folks' eyes and ears, and I can assure you the response time to get to you won't be very long, because we've got North Harris County broke up into zones, and again, there will be dozens of deputies in those zones, so we should be able to you know, handle anything that comes our way. I'll just say in closing, I'd mentioned earlier about the two brothers at the Houston Police Department that almost got their lives snuffed out last week by an impaired driver. In this day and time, I've been doing this 33 years, going on 34 years, but in this day and time, it takes a very special person to be a police officer in the state of Texas. It is you know, one of these deals where you don't know when you put the badge and the gun on and you leave the house if you're going to come back, because the variables have changed so much in the last 10, 15 years. It is dangerous on the streets, not only for the police but for all first responders. So I would ask that you keep all of our officers in your prayers this weekend, because we're going to be out there, and again, we'll be fighting the good fight, keeping you and your family safe, keeping impaired drivers off the road.
I think a lot of our viewers would be intrigued and pleased to see law enforcement agencies partnering and collaborating together. How unusual is that, and if at all, and can you talk about how it came about?
Yeah, I'll just tell you that Sheriff Gonzalez and I have had a relationship ever since he's been in office. He reached out to us last year, and we've been working initiatives, and we have other initiatives planned, whether it be you know, prostitution stings or gambling stings or patrol stings, whatever they are. I can tell you that we at Precinct 4, we have operations planned, I think, into April of next year. And the key in this business, whether it be DWI enforcement, fighting the criminals, is to stay ahead of them. And I would like to think that we're ahead of them. And but it's not unusual for us to work with the sheriff's office. I mean, because we've been doing it ever since Ed Gonzalez has been in office. And I'm gonna tell you, the relationship with Precinct 4 and the sheriff's office, I've never seen it better. And we love that. And it's a win-win deal for our citizens.
Was any type of additional funding received by departments to help pay for like overtime or the manpower involved in this type of initiative?
Yeah, we have a STEP grant, a DWI STEP grant that we get through TxDOT, and we're using some of that,
Correct.
Chief.
And we also are using some of that. We do have some overtime programs right now to pay for initiatives such as this. You know, in closing, I'd like to say that, you know, we took an oath to protect the public and your families, and we do that every day. But public safety it's a shared responsibility. So we can't do it alone. We need your help, the community, to step up. And like the constable said, if you see something, say something, and we'll work with you. Thank you.
All righty, we're gonna wrap it up. Are there any Spanish stations here that need the? No. Okay, so we're
Would
good.
you
Good.
mind saying and spelling your name?
Sure. First name is Edison, Edison, and the last name is Toquica, Toquica.
Thank you.
In
Thank you.
case Telemundo calls us, can we get in Spanish just so I can?
Sure.
Sure.